Hey everybody, Tim here, Headgear Garage. Let me start off by saying thanks for tuning in. Also, I want to apologize to those of you every week for not putting out a video last week. I had a few projects here at the house that I had to get taken care of, kind of things that occurred over the winter that we've just been pushing off, and we finally had the weather for it. So I was out there just working away, and it was not content related to my channel, so I didn't do any videoing of it. I just wanted to get it knocked out and get it done so I could move on. But we do have a project for today. We're not going to get back on the TJ today. We're going to actually do something else. While I was doing those other projects, I was also in the middle of doing some much needed garage organization and reorganizing and just kind of cleaning the place up. So let me show you what we're going to be doing today and then some of the things I got done over the past couple weeks. All right, so today I got this this big table. It's a fabrication table, basically. It's a homemade one. Obviously, it's not a fixture table. It doesn't have the holes in it. But I got this off of my wife's cousin. He was getting rid of it and called me up and said, "You want this thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I love it. It's got a great height to it. It's on casters, but only one side swivels, and then it's pretty large. I didn't actually measure it, but it's pretty large, and it takes up a lot more space in my shop than I anticipated. However, I don't want to get rid of it because along with it also came this homemade brake, which is extremely heavy, and I think will work pretty well. It actually just mounts here in the end in these square tubes, and I'll probably end up changing how it mounts, but, well, not how, but where it mounts once I do it. But what I'm thinking about doing here is I've cleared this whole back wall off here beside the furnace, and I think we're going to take this thing and cut the, it's only stitch welded, so we're going to cut this thing apart, and we're going to mount this tabletop to the wall on hinges, and then I can just take these legs and swing them, just kind of swing them out back against the wall, and when I need them, swing them out this way, and we'll lift the table up and swing the legs out. And that way there, when I'm not using it, it'll only take up, 4 inches instead of, or less of space. And when I want to use it, because really all I need it for is this top. I don't need the shelving units underneath it or anything like that. I'm not going to use any of that. So I figure if I cut it right, cut the stitch welds out, I can keep these legs frames and the casters, which are on slot, they slot onto those, and then I can hinge the back side against the wall and just need a caster on one side that swivels, and I have 2 of the swiveling casters, so I only need 1. But I'll just have to take all this framework apart, cut off the pieces I don't need, chunk up pieces I will need for bracing, things like that, because I still want it to be super sturdy. So all of this will stay on it on the top. This back one here, I think we're going to cut it right here on both sides, and then any place down through the middle here it needs it, so that this piece here will mount to the wall, and then this piece will there'll be a hinge across, so it can hinge down, up and down, and that'll give me the space away from the wall so that it actually has room to hinge and rest fairly flat. But we'll figure out all that stuff here as we go. Let's get to cutting this thing apart. We'll get it torn down, and the worst case scenario is I'm not able to do what I want to do and with what I have, and I have to get more material. I do need to get some hinges though, some weldable hinges. That's one thing I don't have, but I'm hoping just with what I have here, I can make this all happen, and it'd be the cost of a couple hinges and some welding wire. Now, as I said, the other thing I did was I went out and picked up a whole bunch of these tall 5-drawer filing cabinets. I got 3 of the tall ones and 2 of the short ones. There's a short one here, and there's a short one way over there. And I've been going through slowly working on moving stuff over into them. Like this one is cordless power tools, impacts and drills and caulking guns. This one is more cordless tools, sanders, sawzalls, nailing guns, or there's a ratchet in there. There's a couple extra drills. I have a charging station set up here with my music maker. This drawer is all for just batteries. This is like I think gardening stuff. Yeah. This one is paper towels. Yeah, so I'm working on it. This one's all screws and bolts and stuff like that. I still need to make a bin to hold all these things so you can just pull one of them out at a time. I love these things, but I got to get the bin made. It gave me a place to put all those toolboxes. Like right here, I got all your different plastic kits of things like this is a master caliper kit, slide hammer. This goes over here. That's a bore scope. Paint supplies. So yeah, I got that done, and that allowed me to also clean up this what became just a catch-all shelving unit over here. So you got all your other things over here, your liquids and your oils, and all of those things are over here. Now as you get up here higher where you can't really reach, it's just storage. But yeah, so then this one here is, you know, it's got metal stuff in it, and it's got some air tool stuff. This is just kind of a catch-all right now with extra parts. But all the steel storage is going in that one. So all the excess steel that I have, all the pieces and scraps that I was storing beside the furnace, I'm moving down there just because it's going to be a lot neater, and it's already, with what I have moved, has cleaned this area up. This cabinet will end up coming out of here because that's all steel storage. I'm going to move these two barrels flat against this side of this. One of them will become my trash can. The other one's just going to be for the super long material that's already in it. But they'll be over this way, opening this space up here, getting away from the furnace. So yeah, let's get started. I think I've wasted enough of your time. Let's start tearing into it. To the charging station. So we got the top cut free, but this thing is way too heavy to pick up, so I either have to go get the forks from my tractor, or if a guy happened to have a 2-post lift, he might be able to just hook it onto that and lift it up. What do you think? Is it maybe? Let's see. Give me your odds. What do you think? Is it gonna work? You gonna be able to get it in there? Could call that a success. I want this to be a little bit shorter, so I'll have to level all these off and get them all to the same height, but what I need to do now is I'm gonna cut here on both sides, free that thing up. Do the same on that side, free that thing up. Okay, it is pretty well torn apart. I need this piece removed from this piece. But I can cut it here. I can get in there to cut across. Might have to start with the grinder, but I can cut there. Then I just got to cut that weld off. And a couple, maybe at least this one. Looks like it's just catching. That one doesn't look like it's catching. That one isn't. And then I gotta do the same thing on that side. I gotta do on this side. Got that back piece off of here. Got our whole back edge now. Ready to weld some hinges on and that sure is a pretty table you got there. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It was no problem at all. It was just a simple task. Just threw it up there. Yep. You should build one. You should definitely do that. All right, let's continue on. All right, if you'll recall, our original table, the one side, I'll show you what I'm saying, the one set of legs, like that right there, didn't have crossbars like that one does. It had this thing. It had this table system with legs extending down to catch corners of it. So basically what I'm saying is I didn't have a set of legs like that. So I took what I had, I've cut parts and pieces out, and we've got them all ready to go here. I just got to clamp this down. It's in location, and I got to clamp it down, and we're going to start welding it, then we'll flip over and do the other side, then we'll do the bottom, and I'll make a matching one to that, is what my plan is. So I'll have 2 of those when I'm done. I'm actually going to flip them over then too, because that what is the top showing there now was the bottom. But I'm going to put that on the bottom, give me more room underneath to slide things if I need to when it's up. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So let's get everything together here, get this clamped down, and then start tacking it together. Too shabby. Again, not a welder, just a guy with a welder, and honestly, better than any of the welds on this thing already. So this should represent our final height. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark it. Then I'm going to pull a level, run a level line across the wall there, so I know that above that line is where I need to mount the bar to the wall that holds the tabletop secure, that the table will hinge on. All right, we have made some progress, and we have made some mistakes. It's not a big issue. It works with it the way it is, but here's what we got. So I got it, the legs mounted to the wall. As I said, I just took 2x4s, extended them down from stud to stud, top to bottom. I split it here, right here, because I wanted to be able to fold these legs in and have them shoot in between, but you'll see in a minute. I did cut this off back here on each side so that it would be able to swing and go underneath. So I have to do some modifications to actually make it work, but as you can see, they swing in, and that's what I want them to do. But the problem is I didn't take into account that these legs are wider than the top of the table, so they actually cross each other. Now I can go back through and cut them off and move these in top and bottom and make them tuck in, and that's what I'm going to do eventually here, but for right now I just want to keep moving forward. Especially like this one's not even, I mean, it's got a weld on both sides and that's it, so it's not going to be too bad, but I'll just cut them loose. Now mine I fully welded out, so yeah, I'll have to work a little harder with that, but either way, it'll work like it is, but my intent was to have them both tucked back in so that the table, when the table folds down, it can lay flat too and won't stick out this extra 2 inches. Again, I'm betting somebody was watching me do that thinking you need to shorten your legs up so that they can fold in together. And as soon as I put the second one on, I realized my mistake. And then I thought, well, I can keep working with it until right now when I realized, no, I can't, because the tabletop's going to hinge off of this. The tabletop will hinge off of this, which means it'll be sitting here, and it won't be able to hinge down if this is sitting here. Okay, so we got it pulled down, we got it marked at, well, we went with 30 1/4 for the overall length. So from here to here, it's going to end up being 30 1/4 on both legs. That will allow both of them to tuck into each other or into the wall and not hit each other. Still doesn't, it makes it through the gap I have. And yeah, so there's a 100% chance this maybe works. I don't know. We're gonna give it a cut here. I did go by, I have it, I don't know if, yeah, I have it sitting over there in the trash can, the new leg here. I just got a 70-inch piece. These are, I think, 34 inches. I have to measure them, but I'll just cut 2 pieces out instead of cutting all these welds out and everything else. We're just gonna cut it and weld on brand new. So already over budget. All right, we got her tied in there. She tucks back nice. Still rolls good, I think. I'll grab where I just welded. Oh yeah. Seems good. Well, that's disappointing. I just thought I'd record it, me moving this off the lift and over to here, and apparently I'm an idiot and didn't bother to hit the record button. Jeez, sometimes. But either way, I'm over here. I got to move it back off of here. Anyway, this is just a trial run. It is nowhere near lined up yet, but okay, got to get underneath there now and weld some hinges. But other than that, that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm going to put I'm going to put something here, probably just so stuff doesn't roll off the back, right in this whole way across. Just, I don't know, something. But otherwise, let me get underneath here now and weld some hinges up so we can get this thing finalized. All right, we have a folding fab table, I'm going to call it, for lack of a better term. It's a good place for me to weld and do any kind of work that the steel tabletop would be handy at, like working with fluids like gasoline, things like that would be nice on it as well. Okay, there it is. She's up, she's in place. I went through, sanded off the top because it had some rust and paint and stuff like that on it. It is still dirty. I'm gonna spray it down with some kind of, or wipe it down with an oil, just because I don't plan to use it for a while and I don't want it to get rusty again. But that's the end result. It's pretty simple. It's very heavy, but it's pretty simple. You just lift up on it, take your feet, kick the legs in, lower that bad boy to the ground. Lays right down snug against the wall. Just about tore my knees off on the forks of the, tractor walking back here. Folds up right against the wall, nice. Gives me all kinds of room for activities. Look at all the room I have for activities now. But seriously, it gives me plenty of room for, because I won't use it that much, but it'll be a nice place for me to use, or to have when I am welding, when I am working, like I said, with some kind of fluids, gasolines, brake fluids, things like that. I can work on this table. But since I won't need it that often, some of this other stuff in here will be able to get tucked back in here a lot tighter now. So, yeah, I call that success. I am tickled to death with it. I didn't want to lose the table because I knew I could use the table for the workspace, but I didn't really have space to keep the table in here. So that was the perfect solution. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting that like button. Also, consider subscribing if you haven't. Both go a long way towards helping the channel. Neither one costs you anything. Also, if you liked what you saw, drop me a comment. Let me know. If you saw something I could do better, please let me know, because believe me, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I guarantee a bunch of you, when you watch me do some of those things, were probably screaming at that TV thinking, why is he doing it that way? Well, he was doing it that way because I went into it with zero plans and no idea how it was going to come out. So all in all, I'm going to say mission success. But either way, thanks for watching. This is Tim, Headgear Garage. We're out. Hope to see you on the next one.